Did you know that John Hayes Hammond Jr.'s first patent was for a board game? While the pioneering inventor is more well known for his work in radio control, variable pitch propellers, and other engineering marvels useful to real warfare, he was also interested in war games. You're likely familiar with the classic board game Battleship, the most famous version of which is marketed by Milton Bradley, who introduced it in 1967. What you may not know, however, is that the game's origins date back to the late 19th century. And it was also played in the trenches of World War I, when it was a simple pencil and paper affair. Hammond may have encountered this game during his college years at Yale, and, likely frustrated by the unrealistic simplicity of the diversion, decided to create a more realistic version of simulated naval combat. He filed for his design on August 4, 1911, and his patent was granted on April 16, 1912. Hammond worked at the U.S. Patent Office upon graduating from college in 1910, acting on the advice of his famous mentor, Thomas Edison. While Hammond's wealthy family would have allowed him more lucrative and attractive employment prospects, he chose to work at the Patent Office in order to familiarize himself with the process and also in order to identify emerging technologies that could aid him in his own career. Hammond's invention purported to, quote, provide a game in which all of the maneuvers incident to modern naval warfare may be simulated under conditions which approximate the varying conditions of actual service. It featured pieces representing battleships, armored cruisers, protected cruisers, colliers, and torpedo boats, as well as forts on land. The object of the game was either to capture the opponent's town, destroy their fleet, or successfully blockade them from using their ships. It also provided rules for simulating foggy conditions. In addition to his naval warfare game, Hammond also designed a land-based version, anticipating the future popularity of tabletop wargaming, in Hammond's time a small niche, but which would grow rapidly in the 1950s before eventually leading to tabletop role-playing games in the 1970s. Hammond's board games were never produced commercially, but they demonstrate how diverse his inventing interests were even early in his career. His Naval-War Game Apparatus may have been his first patent, but it would be far from his last, as Hammond went on to become one of the most prolific inventors in U.S. history. We hope you enjoyed this video, but there is a lot more to explore about John Hayes Hammond Jr., his inventions, and his collection of art and artifacts. We invite you to visit us at Hammond Castle Museum in Gloucester, Massachusetts to learn more.